The idea for the future film Roadhouse was born from the screenwriter David Lee Henry. After he visited a bar in a small town in Georgia, Dalton was in reality the name of one of the visitors to that very bar, although his name is never spoken in the film. Dalton's first name is James. His full name can be seen on his medical records at the hospital. Red West's auto parts store and the Double Deuce bar were actually just facades, which had only two sides. The interior of the bar itself was created inside a recording studio. Patrick Swayze took on the role of Dalton because he wanted to get rid of the role of the lover boy that had stuck with him since the movie Dirty Dancing, 1987 year. But the creators of the film Roadhouse cleverly trolled the actor by coming up with the slogan, "The dancing is over. Now everything will be dirty." Farmer Emmett's house and barn were specially built for the film at a location called King Ranch. Located near Fresno on the Kings River, the buildings were artificially aged to make them look authentic. According to Sam Elliott, the original version of Roadhouse was over 3 hours long. Some of the many deleted scenes were included in the theatrical trailers, including an episode where Dalton trains his bouncers by having them wear ballerina costumes. The film's soundtrack and all musical numbers were performed by Canadian guitarist and bluesman Jeff Healey. Jeff has been blind since childhood, so he plays in a manner that is unique to him. The Cruzados group took part in the filming of the movie Roadhouse. The name of the soloist is Tito La Riva. In the credits, he is mentioned as Humberto La Riva. Tito La Riva is known to many from the film From Dusk Till Dawn, 95 year, as the lead singer of the band Tito and Tarantula.
Patrick Swayze accidentally broke 2 ribs while filming Roadhouse. Due to the injury, Swayze had to withdraw from filming the movie Predator 2, where he was supposed to play the lead role, which went to Danny Glover. The car Dalton drove to the bar was a 1965 Buick Riviera. To better get into character as Dr. Clay Kelly Lynch began visiting hospitals to observe the real work of doctors, the actress even learned how to put in stitches. But in the end she didn't have to do it in the film, which made Kelly Lynch incredibly upset. According to Sam Elliott, all the actors did their own stunts. They were all trained by an experienced martial artist and stuntman, Benny "The Jet" Urquidez, holder of 9 black belts in 9 different disciplines.
Urquidez appeared in a cameo role.
Urquidez was so impressed by Patrick Swayze's natural talent that he tried to convince him to pursue a new career as a professional kickboxer.
Benny said that when he saw Patrick, he was amazed that he moved gracefully like a cat. That's why he said that he would train him like a cat. Although Swayze is shown practicing Tai Chi, Dalton never actually uses this particular style of martial arts in the film's fight scenes.
The film Roadhouse, 89 year, is included in list of 100 enjoyable bad movies, in the book of the founder of the Golden Raspberry Award, John Wilson.
Swayze agreed to star in the film if he could take all the costumes home with him after filming was completed. That's why he decides to star in the movie Ghost a year later, because first of all it wasn't an action movie, and the filming itself wasn't that intense. Also because of this injury the actor cancelled his participation in Tango and Cash, and the second, Predator. The various fighting styles used in the film include basic street fighting, boxing, kickboxing, karate, jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, hapkido, judo, and Tai Chi.
Patrick Swayze caused some trouble on set. The thing is, he had a horde of female fans, which followed the actor on his heels. For example, on one of the filming days, female fans drove up to the actor's trailer in a pickup truck to chat with him. When the fight on the shore was being filmed near the end of the film, female fans appeared on the raft again.
Swayze was generous with his time for his female fans. I remember the night when the film crew was leaving and he was still signing autographs,
which complicated the filming process. There were also some funny incidents in the film crew itself. The girl actor who played the waitress in the episode was so engrossed in looking at Patrick that she didn't look where she was going and spilled coffee on another lady actress. Because there was a real danger coming from crazy female fans, Patrick Swayze was guarded by bodyguards.
Instead, he uses movement from various sources, including the Korean discipline of Hapkido. Worth saying that Patrick played very selflessly, and during filming he received a large number of injuries. And in one of his interviews he admitted that he doubted whether he would survive. By the end of the filming, if believe actor Sam Elliott, almost all the actors did without stunt doubles. The actor himself said that during the filming they were beating the crap out of him, although it is interesting that about 50 stuntmen were involved, which were used mainly for the bar fight scenes. Due to constant injury, Swayze turned down roles in films such as Tango and Cash and Predator 2 because he simply couldn't handle another action role in a row. Especially since after the movie, he had to treat his knee. Actor Marshall Teague, whose character fought towards the end of the film with the main character, didn't get along with Patrick Swayze at first. However, they became friends quite quickly. And besides, they were in agreement that on-screen needed to beat each other up for real. The men filmed the fight scene for 5 days. During this time, they fought about 70 times, and according to the director, they were very tired. Marshall, during one of the episodes of the fight, got so worked up that he hit Patrick with a log, breaking Swayze to ribs, but Marshall got it too. A knocked-out tooth and a concussion. Despite the tension between the actors at the beginning of filming, the men became good buddies after the film was completed. And by the way, the choice of Marshall Teague for the role was not accidental, because he has been involved in martial arts since childhood. Interesting point, Marshall Teague took his mother to the premiere of the film when it came to the final fight, in which the villain told the protagonist that he had fried people like him in jail. The actor's mother jumped up and screamed, "This is my boy." I think was difficult for him to run because of an old knee injury, but whatever pain he was experiencing, it did not affect his playing or the pace of production. He even performed the stunt himself, which required falling from a height of 6 meters onto the roof of a truck. The boundaries of stunts on the set were blurred. The actors did not really understand what could be considered a stunt. For example, actor Marshall Teague, who plays Jimmy, mistaken a log for a prop and slammed it into Swayze's body with all his might.
I had so many injuries, but they didn't stop me. I had a desire to turn the action movie into a performance, and his character a sensitive person to attract a significant part of his female fans.
As for the leading female role, then initially they cast actress Annette Bening, but she was quickly removed from the film set because, as claims Kelly Lynch, who replaced her, there was no chemistry between Anna and Patrick. Kelly took her role as the doctor seriously. She spent a whole month in the emergency room and even learned how to put in stitches. Kelly Lynch revealed that the meeting between her character and Patrick's character is one of her favorite scenes because showed how people from different worlds come together. And here is one funny moment connected with the love scene. As Kelly Lynch told actor Bill Murray constantly, when he sees a hot scene between Patrick and Kelly on TV, calls the actress's husband and starts to tease him cruelly. And this has already become a long-standing tradition. Moreover, Murray made one such call even from Russia to maintain the tradition. Patrick had his signature hair in this movie, which needed to be maintained with hairspray. Swayze later recalled that unknown who used more hairspray, he or Kelly Lynch. Patrick claimed that this hair was the bane of his existence. Some of the soundtrack was performed by Jeff Healey. This is a Canadian musician who became blind at the age of 1.5 and started playing the guitar at 3 years old. His unique style of playing the guitar, lying on his lap, became his calling card. Also, Patrick Swayze himself sang a couple of songs for the soundtrack. He did this before for the movie Dirty Dancing. The film also stars Red West, who went to high school with Elvis Presley and later was his bodyguard.
Even co-wrote some of the King of Rock and Roll songs. West was fired after a conflict with Presley over the singer's alcohol addiction problems.
One of the magazines described the film as a Western. Moreover, the names of many characters have a reference to various personalities from the world of the Wild West. Patrick himself called the film a modern Western, in which Dalton was a hired gun and Brad Wesley a local bully. Final showdown in which local residents helped Patrick's character take down a local rocketeer, inspired by a real case. In one of the cities, also in front of the eyes, several people killed some bandit, and the witnesses then calmly said,
"We didn't see anything."
In the scene where Dalton explains to the bouncers the 3 rules of behavior with rowdy people. It's interesting that this scene has become used for police training in the New York Police Department. However, not all police officers were happy with this arrangement, and one of the police officers was outraged that this was madness. They show something from a movie and want the police to behave the same way in real life. Patrick Swayze said the film changed the perception of club safety around the world. Despite the fact that the film did not show good results at the box office, over time the movie sold well on videocassettes and on cable TV he often shown. Despite several nominations for the Golden Raspberry Anti-Award, the picture has become a cult. The film was also criticized as in his portrayal of women. Actor Ben Gazzara said that of all the films in which he has ever acted, he has seen this one most often on TV. All the actor's fans like his hairstyle, but the actor himself didn't like it and called it the curse of his existence. The whole point is that the incredible intensity of the battle scenes meant that additional measures had to be taken to Swayze's hair look neat. Patrick was forced to use a lot of hairspray.
Benny was fired on Swayze recommendation. When I was offered the part, I've only heard of movie Dirty Dancing. And that was a big movie. I read the script for Roadhouse. Car with big wheels. Bad guy, doctor and mini, bouncers. It was just a pointless piece of junk, but I met with producer Joel Silver, who did not disappoint, offering an incredible personality. He was funny, charming, and a maniac. We were sitting in his office, and he practically convinced me to film. He said, "Listen, I don't create art, I buy it. I promise you, this will be the best movie. This will be a movie that people will like. It will be fun and just trust me." And then he added, "And by the way, you have no choice, you have a contract." Basically, he forced me to film.
A month before filming, Lynch visited the hospital where she observed real doctors at work.
I spent a whole month learning how to put in stitches, a whole month, and in the end the director in one of the scenes gave me a stapler. I'm so upset. This is a scam, but anyway, the first meeting of the doctor with Dalton is one of my favorites.
Swayze and Lynch were very convincing in the role the lovers, therefore many female fans were interested in how the actor's wife reacted to this.
This love scene is probably the hottest of all the ones I've filmed. That the most important thing in a love scene is the absence of the act itself. My wife and I are planning this intimate scene together. Home choreography also helped, because filming such scenes is very scary. You are showing something personal, and there are 50 people on the set looking at you. I don't think you can get used to it. It still scares me.
The scene was difficult, the stones were sharp, had to sew a lining under the dress. Now every time Roadhouse comes on, Bill Murray or one of his idiot brothers watching TV, they always watch TV, one of them calls my husband and says, "Kelly is currently having sex with Patrick Swayze." Well, you get it. He throws her against the rocks. Bill once called his husband from another country right on the set, just to keep up the tradition.
The original version of the film lasted 3 hours and 20 minutes, so more than a third of the film was cut.
My scenes were cut the most, however other actor were also damaged. The battle scenes were also sequential, was cut scene where Dalton forced the other bouncers to dance in tutus as part of their training.
It was a crazy schedule. Besides, racehorses are spinning in my head which I breed, but I have a storehouse of energy that never runs dry.
The film received 4 nominations for the Golden Raspberry Ant Award: Worst Picture, Worst Screenplay, Worst Director Rowdy Herrington, and Worst Supporting Actor Ben Gazzara. But despite all this, the Swayze action movie is collecting $13 million, and that's only in America, having recouped the $15 million budget. The famous film critic Roger Ebert gave the film only 2.5 stars out of 4, and described the picture as follows:
Roadhouse exists right on the line between a good bad movie and just plain bad. I hesitate to recommend it because so much depends on the ironic vision of the viewer. This is a bad movie, but if you watch it in the right mood, it may not be boring for some people.
In the end, Roadhouse was a serious disappointment for Patrick Swayze, as he had hoped to get another big hit like Dirty Dancing, and despite the fact that the film initially failed, after time he will become a classic and loved by many viewers of those very old-school action films. Although it is true that the dialogues are poorly developed and the fight choreography is of poor quality, also many viewers call this film very bad, but for some reason they watch it again and again. Swayze, however, managed to attract 2 audiences in 2 years, women with Dirty Dancing, and men with martial arts action. Roadhouse. This is a good example of how a great B-movie should be made. He entertains the viewer, and gives fans of the genre direct satisfaction. Do not expect that viewers will take their whole story too seriously.